how do we bring our data into Power BI to be able to make the analysis? Every analysis starts with the data. The most important resource to a data analyst or a data scientist is the data. So today we are going to learn how to bring data into Power BI. Hi, my name is Ebenezer Sarfo Adu. I'm a data specialist and a business strategy consultant. I'm here today on 5 minutes in Power BI with Ebenezer Sarfo Adu. This is the fourth in the series. We've already learned what Power BI is and why you're supposed to learn Power BI. If you've not actually watched that video, kindly click the button above to actually look at the videos that we've done. We also went on to show you what Power BI, how to download Power BI, and the interface in the third video. Today, we are going to look at the most important thing in data analysis, which is the data itself. So how do I get my data into Power BI now that I've downloaded and I know the interface? So now let's go straight onto my screen, and then let's see how we can bring data into Power BI. Okay, so that's our interface, Power BI. And the first thing you need to do is very intuitive, is get data. So you go to the tab, the ribbon called Get Data. So when you get to Get Data, you see that there are various data sources. Said import from data from an Excel workbook. There is Power BI data sets, there is Power BI data flows, there is data first. These are all data sources. You can literally connect Power BI to any data source in the world. And I said that in my first video. That is one of the reasons why you need to learn Power BI. So these are some of the common data sources that they've given us: web, OData feed, blank query. Let's go to more. So when you go to more, you are going to get more data sources that you are going to use to actually be able to bring data into Power BI. So it does not matter what your data set may be, you can actually analyze in Power BI. So more, you see the all, you can look at tests, XML, PDFs. I'll do special videos on all these ones. So these are all data sets that you can actually bring into Power BI. Isn't this too great? I mean, the Microsoft team deserves a thumbs up. And I mean, tons of data sources that you can think of. Any data source that you can look at. Let's look at what the most common data source that we have in the world, which is the Excel. So I have a sheet already in Excel that I would want to use. I've named the data financial sample. This particular data source is the same data source that you would get when you see this try a sample data set. Or you can actually import data from Excel right from clicking here. But this is the most useful tab. This is the actual tab for getting data. So let's look at Excel. So I mean, where is the data stored? Once this pop-up comes, I go to search for the data. It's called financial sample. So I search for my data source. So that's the data source, financial sample. Then I click enter. So that is it. I open. And then voila, it comes into Power BI, and I'm picking this particular sheet called financials. So all the sheets in there would open up, or all the tables in there would open up. So there is a sheet and there's a table. When you actually modify your sheets well into tables, you have both of them showing up. So always, the logic is that whenever you actually bring data into Power BI, you need to transform the data before you load. But because I'm just showing you how to bring data into Power BI, let me just load. This is not something that you do always, but just for learning how to bring data into Power BI sake. So this is just bringing Excel into Power BI, and then I click on load. Once it's loaded, what will happen is that my data would come into the field column, the sheet would come into the field column, and then I'll be able to start working. So that is about bringing data into Power BI. So it's loading the data set, and then once it is done, you'll see that it will be loaded into the fields pane. Still working on it. Yeah, so this data set, the financial data set with sales, has come here, and this is what we are looking at. So the various fields in the data set comes here as the fields in my Power BI. So this is how I bring data into Power BI. Like I said, there are various data sources that you can bring data in. My next video, I'm going to teach you how to bring data from the web into Power BI. Currently, we've learned just Excel. We'll look at the web, and in the future, we'll look at other data sources. Thank you for joining me today, and catch you same time next week on 5 Minutes in Power BI with Ebenezer Sarfo Adu.